Welcome back to World of Immersion. Today we are going to be ranking every single ride at Walt Disney World's EPCOT. This park has really improved in the last couple of years, and it has really got some standout attractions that we want to add to our ranking, which needs to be updated. But before we get started, make sure to like and subscribe so you don't miss another update here on World of Immersion. Make sure to also check out some of the other videos we've got up. We have all of the parks at Walt Disney World ranked, updated, so make sure to check those out and let us know your thoughts on those videos as well. Make sure to follow us on Instagram and TikTok at World of Immersion. With that being said, let's get right into the video, starting off at number 11. Now, starting off at number 11 in last place on our list, we have The Seas with Nemo and Friends. This is a pretty typical Omni-Mover ride, very similar to Ariel at California Adventure over in Anaheim at Disneyland. This ride is a lot of fun, and it's really good for families and kids. It's got some fun animatronics and some cool effects, but there's nothing really that stands out about it. Again, like I said, it's very similar to Ariel, so if you've ridden that, you'll know what we're talking about. It's pretty slow moving and a very tame ride with just some fun theming. But with that being said, let's get on to number 10, which is Journey into Imagination with Figment. Now, this is an EPCOT classic. If you've been going to EPCOT for a long time, you will know this ride, and it's just a lot of fun. Very similar to The Seas with Nemo and Friends, there's nothing pretty outstanding to this ride. It is also an Omni-Mover style ride, except the trains are pretty interesting and they can rotate around, and there's some pretty cool effects that happen throughout the ride. Overall, it's just a nice, fun experience for family and kids and just adds to the supporting attractions at EPCOT. There's already so much to do at EPCOT, so it's nice to have these little extra rides that just add more to the park. Now, coming in at number 9, we have the Grand Fiesta Tour starring the Three Caballeros. Now, this is a fun, tame boat ride. It has a lot of nice theming, some good music, some pretty cool effects. Again, just like the past two rides on this list, there's nothing super outstanding to it, but it's just a nice little adding attraction to the park. Now, coming in at number 8, we have Living with the Land. So this ride is a lot of fun, and we actually did not realize that it was a ride until we got there, and it was kind of just this fun discovery for us. Now, Living with the Land is a lot of fun, and it takes you through the ways in which agriculture is done in the United States, and it's not only a very informative ride, but it is very relaxing and peaceful. It's a nice break to your day if you've been doing stuff all day. It's very relaxing, and it usually doesn't have a long line because of its high capacity. Now, coming in at number 7, we have a ride that is definitely not for the faint-hearted. This is Mission Space. If you are prone to motion sickness or nausea or throwing up or anything related to that, you're definitely going to want to skip this ride. This ride is one of the most intense Disney rides we have ever been on, and it is pretty fun. We believe that the intensity does take away from the ride just a little bit because it can be almost distressing and upsetting to the point where it's not enjoyable. However, with that being said, it still is a really well-designed ride. Essentially, you are riding in a spaceship from Earth to Mars, and it is a lot of fun. There are two different versions of the ride that you can do, a more intense one and a less intense one. However, with that being said, they both still might make you dizzy because of the nature of the ride itself. However, it still is a lot of fun, and we would recommend trying to get on if you are open to it. Now, coming in at number 6, we have the new Remys Ratatouille Adventure. Now, this ride is very cool. It is a trackless dark ride, which has some very cool technology associated with it. There's some pretty cool animatronics, some cool sets. However, we will say that we were slightly disappointed with this ride. It looked a lot cooler in the POVs, and when we rode it in person, it was still a lot of fun. However, it just didn't meet our expectations. We will say our biggest issue with this ride was the queue, actually. The queue was not very well themed. It was a little bit disappointing for Disney. It looked more like it would be at a Cedar Fair park even, but it still is a really cool ride, and trackless dark rides are always so much fun. And coming in at number 5, we have the classic Saurin Around the World. This ride is always fun. It's definitely one of the best motion simulators out there. It is just so immersive and interesting and really well designed. There's a reason why this is still one of the most popular rides at the park, even after all of these years. And coming in at number 4, we have the most iconic figure at EPCOT, Spaceship Earth, the ride that takes place inside of the giant sphere Now, this ride is actually a lot of fun. It's a Omnimover ride like a couple of the others on this list, and it's very slow moving and mostly focuses on its really interesting sets and animatronics. We were very impressed by this ride and did not know much about it going in, and we were totally blown away. It's a lot of fun, and the sets are really cool, and the ending especially was a lot of fun. And coming in at number 3, we have Frozen Ever After, the water ride. Now, this ride is actually a lot of fun. The animatronics are really high-tech and interesting. There's some very fun drops. The backward section is always great, and it's overall just a really, really nice, well-themed ride for the park. Queue is really well-themed. The ride vehicles are well-themed. Everything about it just kind of fits perfectly into EPCOT, and they did a really good job at hiding the IP in the park to not make it stand out too much. And taking the number 2 spot, we have Test Track. Now, this ride is so much fun. I believe it is currently the fastest Disney attraction, and it definitely feels like that. This ride is so fast. You don't expect to go to a Disney park and see thrill, and you definitely get that with Test Track, and it is just loads of fun. We don't think it's quite as good as Cars at California Adventure just because we think Cars has slightly better theming, but the thrill definitely adds a ton to Test Track. It is really fun to just race 60 miles an hour along those tracks along EPCOT, and it is also fun in that indoor section going through all the different terrains and tests that they're doing on your car. The theming definitely is slightly lacking on this ride, we believe, but the thrill definitely does make up for it, and it is one of the most sought after rides at EPCOT. For good reason. However, none of these rides so far on this list are even remotely comparable to the number 1 spot, which is going to go to Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind, the new for 2024 spinning launched roller coaster. This ride is unbelievable. We went in with incredibly high expectations, thinking it was going to be one of the best rides in the world, and our expectations were absolutely exceeded. This ride is beyond describable. It is so much fun. There's so much that has been put into this ride. The queue is absolutely incredible. The pre-show was one of my personal favorite pre-shows I've ever seen on any ride ever. It was really, really shocking. I won't spoil it if you haven't been on the ride. And of course, the coaster itself is just so much fun. It's very thrilling with the backwards launch and the intense spinning elements, and it's also got really fun theming throughout. It is so incredibly smooth, being new generation Vekoma, and the carts are a ton of fun. Overall, this ride is just an incredibly well-designed and well-built roller coaster, and Disney really, really did a good job with it. We're super happy that we got to ride it. If you were only able to do one ride at EPCOT, it is 100% the ride that you should do. And for those of you who don't know, Cosmic Rewind is actually the most expensive roller coaster ever built, and it definitely shows. This roller coaster's theming is out of this world. It is unlike any other roller coaster we have ever been on, and it is truly, truly a special attraction that can only be experienced at EPCOT. EPCOT has definitely gotten much better in the past couple years, adding some great rides to the lineup. Let us know what you think of this list. Leave a comment down below your favorite ride at EPCOT. While you're at it, let us know your favorite ride at Disney World too. Make sure to like and subscribe so you don't miss another update here on World of Immersion. Thank you so much for watching, and we will catch you in the next one.